Welcome to The Right Path, where being an actual author, still matters. This is the podcast that's for authors, it's about authors, and it's done by an author, where we share our journeys, we explore our creativity, and we examine the why behind it all. Folks, our guest today is an accomplished author and wonderful young lady I've been talking to. Cannot wait to hear her story and everything that went into these books. Her first book, The Story of dot dot dot, followed by her second book, Stolen Lives. And coming soon, it sounds like the sequel to Stolen Lives, and we're going to talk more about that. But please welcome to our show, Shirley Novack. Shirley, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Better now that I'm here. I mean, this is making me very happy.
Thank you
Although I'm
so much.
happy anyway. I'm a very happy person.
I picked that up just in the little while that we've gotten to know each other here. I mean, you definitely seem like you've got a very full spirit, and I love your message about how nothing's ever too late. You're not too old. Let's go knock everything out. I love it.
No, you'll find out how old I was when I published my first book, and that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Ah, okay.
And you
So
can
this is
add,
all recent stuff.
I published my first book 22. In 22 it came out,
Wow.
and my birthday is in 2.5 weeks, and I will be entering my 80th year.
Get out of town. Seriously?
Hmm. I'm going to
Wow.
be 79.
Congratulations and
I know
happy
I get,
birthday. Oh my
thank
goodness.
you. Yeah, I know. I think it's because I've never gone past 17 mentally. I've always been very young, and my mother died at 105. My goal is
Oh wow.
123, definitely.
Hmm.
But I've had many lives within this time, and everyone is really surprised to find out how old I am because people tell me you don't look it.
Not
I
even a
don't,
little. Not
I
even
don't
a
even,
little.
and I certainly don't act it.
No, you do
And
not.
yeah, I mean, I have one more profession coming when I finish this one. I'm going to be a pole dancer.
Right on. As long as you
Yeah,
write a book about that, you're welcome to come
I'll
back on the
have to
show
write a
and talk
book
about.
as I fall. Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
hey, the how-to guide for the over 80 pole dancer. I'm sure there's a market for that. I bet there is. Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. I love your sense of humor. Could I never in a million years would have put you at 79, and I don't have any reason to flatter you, but I'm telling you right now,
No,
no way in the
I,
world.
and I've had nothing done. My mother never had wrinkles. So I guess I have good genes, and I stay very active.
There you
I
go.
work out, I mean, I do everything that I shouldn't be doing. But
That you shouldn't be doing.
yes, because they say, oh, when are you going to slow down? When are you going to stop? No,
Ah, okay.
never,
So living life to its fullest is what you're doing.
without question.
All right.
Without question. Yes.
Including recognizing your dream of publishing a book.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
love that part of it. I love that part of your story. Your background, if from what I understand, had a lot to do with medical research and teaching
Yes.
and things like that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um, I what I find the most interesting part of my life at its beginning is that I grew up in a home of negativity, and I
Mm,
was constantly told, "Don't even try it. You won't do it. You won't get it. No, no, no." Was so the more my parents said no, the more I said, "Oh, yes." So my father did not believe in college for girls. He was Eastern European,
mm,
and it was a waste of time. You're going to get married and have children. You cannot go to college. And oddly enough, I loved the word. I loved the English language. I wanted to become an English teacher. I just had an affinity for English, and I did very well in it. However, they would not let me go to school. And in Boston at the time, you had to decide in the ninth grade if you were going to go to college or not. If you were going to go to college, you could take college courses such as algebra, chemistry, things like that. If you weren't going to go to college, you could take shorthand and typing. But if you went into a college program, you could not take shorthand, nor could you take typing.
huh. That's
So
interesting.
I
All right.
I went into a business course, and I worked every day after school. I saved all my money. And when I graduated, I did not want to become a secretary. being the klutz that I am, and I'll make this very fast, being the
You're
klutz
okay.
that I am, I knocked over a table in the guidance office and found a pamphlet about a college in Boston that was offering a 2-year program in laboratory science. I could become a medical assistant. And I had enough science courses because those were the classes that all the boys were in.
Mm.
So I always took science courses. Flash forward, I became a medical assistant, and I specialized in laboratory technique. I got an internship at Boston Medical Center, which had a research group doing research on the unborn. We were the first ones to operate on a fetus,
Oh my
and that was
goodness.
the research we did. They wanted someone with a master's degree, but I read everything I could about them. I got an interview, and lo and behold, they hired me, even though my parents said, "You're wasting your time." And I became their surgical assistant. They said that my enthusiasm was so overwhelming, they had to hire me. But I think it was because I came so cheap. It's like, yeah. No, but they sent me to the University of Rochester Medical School to take a crash course in hematology.
Uh,
So when federal
well,
funding got
good.
back years later, um, our research grants also dried up. And I went on to teach the medical assisting program at a school in Boston, and I did that until I had my third child. And that was it. I mean, I loved that field and I loved
Mm.
teaching. So it's a far cry from where I am right now. However, when I was in the ninth grade, when I was in the fourth grade, sorry, I was 9 years old, and I had a teacher who said he gave us an assignment to write a poem about spring. And he was so impressed with mine that he made me read it to the entire school. And he took me aside afterwards and said, "Do not ever stop writing because someday you're going to be a great writer." And that stayed with me my entire life. His name was John Willett, and we were his first class after he graduated college. So it's conceivable he might be alive today, but at least his family is.
Mhm.
But the Boston school records don't go back that far, and I haven't been able to locate him.
Mm.
But he is my first acknowledgement. The only acknowledgement in my first book was to him because teachers are so underrated. I
Yeah,
mean, I was a 9-year old, and look where I am right now. I'm publishing my third book.
right. I mean, that's so powerful that it's stuck with you through 70 years.
Yeah,
I mean, that's people do not realize the impact the teachers have on us when we're
no.
younger. And
And I can
that's
picture him.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I may forget what I had for breakfast, but I can picture Mr. Willett, you know.
Well, when we get older, we remember the important stuff, right? Like this guy and what he said to you. So
And what he said to me.
that's right. That's amazing. So that's been on your heart since then?
Well, I've always written. I used to write a lot of poetry and
Mhm.
short stories. I helped my kids with all their thesis papers, getting into college and etc. And so I've always written and I've always loved to write. But my father died in 1984. He just dropped dead one day. And
Mm.
after he died, I found out a lot about him that I had not known previously. And he and I had a very unique relationship. He worked 7 days and nights a week, and he adored my mother, but my mother felt she married beneath her station in life, and she never let him forget it.
Oh, wow.
But he and I had I was the only girl and I was the baby. So we had a very strong understanding without speaking about it. We knew that we understood each other. And after he died, I found out his story about how at 15 years old, he was living in a brothel because his mother died. When his mother died, he was 12, his brother was 9, and his father, who was the most horrible person I've ever had the misfortune to know, sent he and his 9-year-old brother to live in the care of a brothel.
Wow. That's pretty brutal.
I mean, isn't that what every dad does?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, it's commonplace now, right? Yeah. My gosh. Now, was it
And he
finding
said,
out? Go ahead, please.
"Oh, I'm sorry." And he said, "When I'm going to America, and when I have enough money, I'll send for you." And while he was in the brothel, he got his education because all the people. This was in Koretz, Poland at the time, and all the people that came in were financiers and bankers and then people of industry. And that's where he got his education. He learned to read and write, and he had a passion for learning. When he was 15, a Polish soldier snuck into his room and raped him. So I found all this out after he passed away. And the story just stayed in my head. And I decided I want to write about it. And I did. And that's what I did. Um, when he came to America, he was 16, and his father had remarried a woman equally as nasty. And she was very pregnant at the time. And his father said, "You're 16 years old. I cannot take care of you. Go out, get a job, and work." Couldn't speak a word of English. So that's the story I wrote.
Yeah,
So the beginning of the book is true. Like the first three chapters are true, and the rest of it is fiction.
I
So
see.
in the rest of the book, I had to make everything up. And for some reason, unlike other authors, I had no outline, I had no plan in mind. I just sat down and wrote. It just came to me as I wrote. And I created a fiction of the rapist coming to America and coming face to face with my dad, not knowing who my dad was, but my dad knew who he was through certain physical deformities.
Wow.
And it's not unique that that would have happened because at the beginning of the 20th century, a lot of immigrants came to Boston, New York. My father became a well known furniture maker, and this guy had heard about him and came to him to make him some furniture. And that's how they got together. He
Sure.
never knew who my father was, but my father knew who he was.
Interesting. The process of the book in terms of writing on this subject matter and so on and so forth. You mentioned that your mother felt as though she married beneath her station.
Yeah,
That seemed to bother you a little bit when you said that. I'm just kind of
because my
guessing.
mother had no station. She was
Okay.
equally as poor. She was an immigrant, but she was a very depressed person in and out of hospitals my whole life for depression, negative. And I have two older brothers, very successful, very happy and well adjusted. And we say it's because we saw what we did not want to become.
Hmm. I
Not
see.
so it kind of worked in reverse. We were strong enough to have it work in reverse.
Good for you. It makes sense. And after your father dies, then you are finding out all this information about him that you didn't know.
Yeah,
It sounds like maybe I'm wrong, but do you feel like your father was like sort of misunderstood and unappreciated a little bit?
only by my mother
Yeah.
because my father died very suddenly and his funeral was on the 4th of July. And we assumed that no one would come because it was a holiday. The place was packed. 300 people came. Half of them gave eulogies. And it was because he was a very humble, dignified person. He had no money. He was always poor because he didn't sell himself enough. He underestimated who he was. Um, but people people respected him. Like the most important thing to him was you be respectful of other people, you be respectful of older people. Always listen, don't speak first. You know, and it's like he was admired for that. We were shocked. We had no idea that all these people were going to be there. But my mother mostly, he worked 7 days and nights a week to make a living, and she berated him for that.
Ouch.
I never
Hmm.
liked her.
Sounds like there might have been a little animosity there.
No, I mean, I was
Uh,
very respectful of her because she was my mother and I felt I had to be, but she had a girl. She wanted a girl because she wanted a companion in life, someone to take care of her later on and be with her and do with her and go with her. And that wasn't me. It was never me. So she didn't die till 105. And boy, yeah.
It almost sounds like the book, the story of dot dot dot
But
is you avenging your father a little bit.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, because one of my brothers did not, neither of my brothers had the relationship with him that I did. And my middle brother, who is an author, he's a historian, and he said, "I don't know who you're writing about. This isn't the person I knew." And I said, "Well, that's the person I knew."
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
That's your feedback on the book. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
from
Right.
him.
Right.
But
Right.
it's everyone has a different relationship. I have three kids, and all three of them had a different relationship with their father.
Sure.
So I guess, they came from three different planets. I think if you have children, you have to let them just be who they are, not try to mold them into what you want them to be. And I learned that. And so I have a great relationship with all of them.
That's wonderful. That really is. And it sounds like in the book you got justice for your father.
I think so.
Yeah.
People are shocked. I mean, my relatives are absolutely shocked because they did not know. I actually found out from my first cousin, whose father was my father's brother. And she's the one that told me all this, but no one else had known about it. But it gave me the impetus, especially when I had started it a long time ago and put it down for several years. But when the pandemic hit, I was glued to my typewriter. I just knocked it off.
Yeah.
And then when I was finally finished, I knew I couldn't send it to Simon and Schuster or Random House because they didn't know who I was. So I really did a lot of research and I heard about hybrid publishing.
Right.
In my mind, doing self-publishing was not what I wanted. And I found a hybrid publisher. I wrote all these query letters. I must have printed out about 50 query letters. I only sent out one. And I
Yep.
sent my manuscript to one, a hybrid publisher. And they said, we'll look it over and we'll call you in a few weeks. And they called me in 3 days. And they said, we'd like to sign you.
Wow.
The joy, I mean, I felt so validated because this is the first book I've ever written. And it's gotten amazing reviews.
Yeah. No, I've read a lot of the reviews. So it's wow, good for you. And what a story. Um, Now you've been thinking about doing this most of your life, ever since you heard this at 9 years old.
Yeah.
And so you just, it sounds like it's always been on your heart. And so you decide you're going to write this book, and you're motivated to write it about your father. The story just comes to you,
Yep.
no outline, no nothing, because there's authors
Nothing.
all over the place here in this episode right now that are gritting their teeth.
I've written what? I'm sorry, what?
There's authors all over the place right now who are listening to this who are just gritting their teeth, going, "Must be nice." All right.
No, you know something? I feel I feel blessed that I did that. I don't take it for granted because I hear the normal way to do this and the
Mhm.
normal way to go about it. There's nothing normal about what I've done,
I love that.
you know?
Yeah.
And the second book was the same. I had no outline. I just sat down. I am addicted to crime. I am addicted to crime. I love true crime stories. Dateline, 2020, 48 Hours. I mean, I
Wow.
am addicted to all those shows. And basically, that was the research I've done.
Sure. Your father's experience in the first book is that what led you to the subject matter for the second book, in terms of the human trafficking?
I wish I could give you an answer to that. I wish I could honestly say, oh yeah, absolutely that, but no. The only familiarity between the first book and the second book is an extension of the family involved.
Okay.
But other than that, the story has no relationship to the first book. The third book, however, is a sequel to the second book.
Sure. Well, I know that's connected. Sequels, I understand.
Yeah. No, no, but I'm
All
saying
right.
that's, yeah, yes, but that's, I went off in a totally just carrying it through. But the second book was from what I have read and what I've watched and my imagination.
Hmm.
And yeah, I after each chapter, I'd come downstairs and give my husband a chapter to read, and he'd say, what goes on in your head?" I don't,
Like, why are you thinking of this topic right now?
yeah, like what? No, well, like where did you come up with this? What is it? Do I know you?
Right. Well, so and that's the question, really. I was trying to maybe find a connecting piece or something to where this topic comes from. It's I mean, it's a timely topic, unfortunately, because it's so talked about right now. But um, it's also it's a very serious, very heavy topic to be talking about.
Yeah, it's nothing to laugh about. That's for
No.
sure. In fact, I've gotten a lot of 5-star reviews for the book. One 4-star I got was because she was so traumatized by it she couldn't sleep.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I never thought of it like that, but I guess it's true because right now it's relevant. But I started this book 2 years ago and I completed it. No, I completed it like a year and a half ago. I completed it and I had a traditional publisher who shall go unnamed who had been listening to me on podcasts and said, I understand you're writing another book. We'd like to follow you with it and possibly publish it when you're done. So I finished the book. I sent them the manuscript. They signed me. Okay, now this was a traditional
Right.
quotation publishing company, and they held it for 8 months, and there was hardly any communication. There was like very little communication, and I called the publisher. I called him on it and said, we've had no communication at all in this book. I mean, it's supposed to come out any minute now, and we haven't even talked about it. And he said, I said, I had a hybrid publisher who called me every week. And he said, then why don't you just go back to your hybrid publisher?
What?
Yeah. I said, I'm not trying to insult you, but anyhow, we parted ways. And then I really researched independent publishers, which is like self-publishing.
Sure.
And I found a company which I rave about called Book Locker, which is the most amazing independent publisher you can ever. First of all, the price was hardly anything at all. The contact is constant. They do it all. And Angela Hoy is the owner. She puts out a weekly newsletter called Writers Weekly, and it's open to anybody who wants it. It's free. And I can't advise enough authors to go into Writers Weekly by Angela Hoy because she tells you who never to publish with, who to go with, who the
Oh,
scammers
wow.
are, yada, yada, everything. She's amazing. And so when I parted ways with this so-called traditional publisher and I linked on to Angela, the book was out in 12 weeks. It was done in 12 weeks, but 8 months it did nothing. So when I started writing about human trafficking, we weren't talking about Jeffrey Epstein. We weren't, it wasn't the big thing then. When it came out, it was. And so everybody thinks that I was writing it because of that,
Sure.
when truly it was started way before. But this so-called traditional publisher had an author who he had signed who somehow or other tracked me down to let me know that I dodged a bullet and that he had screwed her out of thousands and thousands of dollars.
Oh,
He
wow.
was a misogynist. He was nasty. and he's a liar. And she called him every name in the book, and she and I have now become friends because she
Wow.
couldn't stop crying from the experience. And so
That's
we
awful.
talked about it a lot, but she wanted to let me know that I had done the right thing.
Sounds like he just needed to sign something to meet a quota. So he got something and then said, great, I'll put you on the shelf for 8 months.
Yep. Well, guess what?
Wow.
Her book was just signed by Simon and Schuster.
Oh, good. Happy endings do kind of make up for a lot of things. So that's good to
Yeah.
hear.
So she's very happy.
That's excellent. So how have you, let's talk about the publishing for a minute because we are. So how have you enjoyed the self-publishing aspect of things as opposed to the hybrid publishing aspect of
I
things?
love it. I love it because of the company I'm with. I mean, they will help you with, they will answer any question any time of day or night. They're available to you. They do it all. They do the editing, they do absolutely everything. And the cost of it was minuscule. I mean, they have a program you can publish with them if you do most of the work for like under $100, which is unheard of.
Holy cow.
I will say, okay, I'll put it out there. I went for their package to do it all, and I think it was $1,500,
Hmm.
which
Still not
is, but
terrible.
they
Yeah.
but they do the promoting. They don't take another dime. They don't take a dime from the sales. That's it. It's a flat rate, and they do everything. And their promotion is amazing. They're everywhere.
Wow. That's great. Now, how do you find these folks? Just happenstance or through research?
I just researched and I looked at reviews, and they got the most amazing reviews from their authors. I mean, like one author was just publishing their 10th book with them, and
Nice.
they've been around for about 25 years, which is important,
That helps. Yeah.
but I think that the expectation of writing a book and getting it published, that you are immediately going to be a well-known author and you're going to sell 1,000 books right away. And then. In fact, I'm selling more of my first book now, 3 years later, than I did when it first came out.
That's the promotion catching up with you. Yeah.
That's
Excellent.
the promotion catching up with me.
Wonderful.
And oh, one other thing I can just advise would-be authors to do. I leave my bookmarks everywhere I go. So if I'm at the doctor's waiting room, I leave a stack of bookmarks. My beautician keeps them handy at the beauty parlor I go to. And she called me yesterday and said, I need more. But every waiting room I go to, I leave a stack of bookmarks and it's working. It's crazy.
Grassroots. You gotta love that. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Grassroots and elbow grease still works even today. So
Yeah.
that's just fantastic. Um, if we can talk about your process a little bit, because you claim to kind of not have one. Like it just comes to you, you sit down and you write, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Now,
I can, yeah, I'm sorry.
oh no, not at
Uh,
all.
I can write one page in a day. I can write 12 pages in a day. I can write once every month. It's like I don't sit down. I haven't been able to sit down and write unless all of a sudden, oh my God, I have to go write this down. And a thought comes to me. I walk every morning, and while I'm walking, I do form patterns in my head of what I'm going to write that day or that week.
Okay.
So I do most of my writing in my head first, but I don't have an outline, and I don't do what normal people do.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
it's strange.
So you're not following any kind of a set plan in terms of, I'm going to do it at this time and it's going to be like this. It's
No,
whenever it comes to you. And
yeah.
then do you just take whatever comes to you and sort of put that on paper and then figure out where it goes in the book later on?
Mm, the
Or are
only
you
time
writing the story in your head as you
I'm
go?
writing the story as it goes along, but I will say that um, with with my maybe it was the first, maybe it was the hybrid publisher, when my first book. Oh yeah, it was my first book. I had a crime taking place, and the it was like in the few chapters down, and the publisher said to me, take the crime and put it in the first paragraph on the first page because you want to get your readers interested the minute they open that book. And that was the best advice I got because I have followed that rule with everything I write. Um, you want to grasp someone right away.
Right.
And that's what people tell me. They say, once I pick up your books, I can't put them down because it's instant. And I'm not flowery. I like to say what you have to say in as few words as necessary. Helps, I guess. I honestly don't know. I think sometimes I feel like there's a hand watching over me that is guiding me and showing me the way and what to do because it's just it's just I haven't suffered yet. I'm suffering now because I mean you're not making the money, of course, but no, that's okay. I think maybe it's sometimes you're right because you want the adulation. I don't know. And that wasn't my idea. I wrote because I just had to do it. I mean, I came downstairs one day and I was crying hysterically. And my husband said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Because so and so just died." And he said, "Yeah, but you're the one who killed her." So,
Oh,
yeah.
all
But
right.
you get into the lives of your characters on the pages. They're more than just words
Right.
or people on a page. They become part of you and you become part of them. And it just is a natural process that happens
Right.
when you're
How do
writing a
you
book.
how do you go about breaking out your characters? Is there any kind of form that you follow in creating a character, or is it that you're creating them as the story goes as well?
I am, as the story goes. However, if he's supposed to be a nasty, awful person with no scruples, I do nothing to make you like him. There is
Okay.
nothing that, I mean, especially in human trafficking, a lot of these criminals they get these young girls, women, men, whatever, children, by being nice and sweet and egging them on and promising them the world. And then they find out very quickly that this is not really the case.
Sure.
That's actually the truth of that crime
Okay.
is that they pull you in and make you think they're your friend, and they're not.
I'm curious about that too. The for the first book, it sounds like a lot of the research was, of course, your father's life, things you found out about him after he passed, and that sort of thing. So I'm sure there was research done there, but there was also a personal connection to it and some things that you already knew going into writing the book,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
With the
And I
second
went to
book,
Ellis Island. I went to Ellis Island and I found the boat that my father came in on.
oh wow,
Yeah.
I bet that was
It was
amazing.
that was amazing. Amazing. So I did do that. I found that. And then there are some trips, like there was some research about the Ziegfeld Follies in the book, about Ohio. I mean, there's certain things that I did not know that I did have to research.
Sure. How'd the research differ to the second book? Unless there's some experience there that I haven't uncovered yet.
Surrey, Google. Um, just you can find, I go to the library if I really can't find something I want. But un unfortunately, the information is so available to you these days because of the internet. And I say unfortunately because it's almost too easy.
Right.
Um, AI is frightening me. It really is scaring me. And one thing Angela from Booklocker said, she asked me, "Are you planning on using AI in any of your writings?" And I said, "Never, absolutely not
Good
ever."
for you. Good for you.
Um, that's cheating. I mean, why? I hate it. I'm really fearful that, all these new authors are going to come out and it's not coming from their minds or their heads. And this, it's just not truthful.
No, no, no. I agree with you. I love that that's your stance. I was probably going to throw that question at you too at some point, but I love that that's your stance. It sounds like that's how BookLocker works also.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, no AI,
Right.
no AI. Um, I I I started taking a creative writing course about 10 years ago at a local school. And there were probably 12 of us in the class at the time. Ultimately, some left, new ones came in, others left, new ones came in. About 8 years ago, we became 8 people. And in order to write honestly, you have to be able to trust the people you're writing with and you're writing for. So now there are 8 of us, the same 8 in the class for about the past 8 years. They had to take the curriculum out of the school because we won't let anyone else in the class. It's us and the teacher, who is a published author. And the writing that comes from our prompts is so heartfelt and so honest. But what happens in that room stays in that room.
Mhm.
We just and we've become a family. And I encourage all people who want to write. It's not a necessity, but if you are interested to take a creative writing course, it'll open up your mind and it'll open up your heart and everything to the writing process. It's been
Nice.
invaluable.
Nice.
And
Great
maybe that's what
endorsement.
gave me the courage. Maybe that's what gave me the courage to sit down and really write.
Yeah. Hey, whatever it was, I'm glad that it happened. The one of the you brought up, about writing the books too, and writing the books for. That's something I always try to ask folks is whenever we're writing a book, at some point we are speaking to someone
Yeah,
or we're doing the project for somebody,
yeah,
and so on. Now, with the first one, I can only guess that your father's involved in the answer to that question in some capacity.
absolutely.
Okay. So the purpose for writing the first book was, in your words,
Um, to vindicate my father, I felt that he got the short end of the stick in his
right?
life and he was misunderstood and he was way above everybody else as far as I'm concerned. And so I really wrote the book thinking of him constantly. And he died very suddenly, very young. And I think he knew how much I loved him, but it was never spoken, which was very strange. I love you was never, we would just look at each. Sometimes I would come home and I'd find him sitting in my backyard because he loved looking at the squirrels and the blueberries and the trees that he did not have. But he wouldn't let me know he was there because he didn't want to bother me. He didn't want to intrude on my life. And I'd go, Dad, but it was because he never wanted to intrude that I wanted him to intrude. So I
Yeah.
did. I wrote this book to validate him and his life. And I don't think I realized that while I was writing it, but afterwards I certainly did.
Yeah, wonderful. He never got to see it.
No, no.
No. I bet he loves it.
I think he's watching from
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'm sure.
The irony is that he became a tradesman, but he wanted to learn. He wanted to be a chemist. That was his dream to become a chemist. I don't even think anyone in the family knew that other than me. I mean, he used to come home at night and sit and read and read and read. He really had a brilliant mind, but he was actually considered a blue collar worker. I mean, he made furniture, but he never understood his own value.
Sure. Well, and especially when you're cut from that cloth and in that generation, you put your head down, you do what you have to do, and you take care of your family.
That's it.
That's what you do.
That's it.
Yeah.
And people always ask me, well, didn't you resent him for not giving you money to go to college? And I said, that was his way of life. That was in his world, but it made me stronger because I worked
Mhm.
and I paid for it myself.
Yeah, nobody
So
can
it
ever take
made
that away from you either. That's great.
no, and it made it more valuable to me as well.
Mhm.
And it made me a stronger person.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the second book, who are you writing that to?
I honestly, I think for all the young, uninformed women, young girls who are just thinking of, I'm going to run away from home. and I'm going to become a Hollywood star. I'm going to become a model. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to live a life I don't want to live. I mean, I'm not living now. And I think it's a wake-up call to trust no one. And I think because of the internet, there is such a fear out there of falling prey to people that you've never seen who just, I mean, how many kids now are running away from home to people they've never really met physically on the internet? I mean, sadly, social media frightens me. It really does because, I mean, my kids are all grown and I don't have to think about that. But it's a very strange time we live in. I've been hacked more times than I can think.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I was thrown off of Facebook. I had three Facebook accounts, and I was thrown off because somebody from Vietnam was putting salacious things on my Facebook pages.
Oh, my goodness.
And
Hmm.
I was thrown off of Facebook and tried to find Facebook to tell them this isn't you. There is no such place to go.
No.
There's no phone call. There's nothing. You just have to start all over again.
Right.
And this was just as my second book was starting to come out. And I'm like, I really need a Facebook. Yeah. But I think really that I was thinking of all the how open everything is now that you are so vulnerable as people who are uninformed. Your life is out there to be stolen, to be taken. My identity was stolen 30 years ago. Someone took my purse right out from under me, and it had my life in it at the time. And within 10 minutes, I had canceled every account, but they had my social security number. They had my checkbook. They had all my charge cards. They had everything. And it took 2 years of writing affidavits of stolen checks and police affidavits and everything else. They wrote $25,000 in bad
Oh,
checks.
wow.
And yeah, I was getting calls every day from stores that were saying, you passed me a bad check, it bounced. No, it wasn't me, but could you tell me what the person looked like? And one guy said, about 5 feet tall, about 200 pounds, and not that attractive. I said, that's the crime. The crime is that she's telling people she's me, and that's not me. That's, I think finding levity in everything is important, but it really did a number on me.
That must have just been an absolute nightmare. I've never had that happen to me, thank goodness, but oh my gosh, I can't
It
even
is, but
imagine.
it's happening more and more now. And
Yeah.
really, when I think about people reading a book on human trafficking, I know most of them are saying, "Oh, that could never happen to me. That's not me. I'm smarter than that." No, no one's smarter than that because they find your weaknesses and they prey on it. And I think that's probably, you asked who did I write this book for? I think I
Mm.
wrote it for all those girls and sometimes young men, parents,
Yeah.
parents. I can't imagine having a child gone missing. I mean,
I
that,
can't either. Goodness gracious.
no.
Yeah.
So if it makes anyone a little bit smarter for making the wrong move, then it's been all worth it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And I know that this is a fictional account
It is a fictional
in the book,
account.
right? So the third book that's coming out soon is a sequel to that one. And is since it was a fictional account, is this a continuation of the second book? Is it a new story with new characters? How are you building
It's
the
a
third
continue
book?
um, without giving away
Right, we don't want to give away the secret sauce.
how the second book ends. I would have to say that it's because the second book ends with a cliffhanger.
I see. All right.
So it's carrying that cliffhanger forward.
Nice. Nice. So you're
Although
one of
you
those
can,
cliffhanger people. I got you.
well, on that one I did because the last chapter of the second book is actually the first chapter of the third book. So if you haven't read the second book, you can still read the third book and not be, feel that you're missing something.
Excellent.
Because like it gives reference to things that have happened in the past. So you'll be able to do it. But I'd rather you bought the second,
Well, of
rather you bought
course.
the first and second and third when it comes out. But Book Locker is absolutely going to publish a third book. I'm not even going to look anywhere else. They're amazing.
That's a great endorsement. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, they're fabulous, and everybody who works for them. Like I paid a little extra money to hire their marketing personnel for very little money again, who's been marketing my book, The Stolen Lives.
Yeah,
But he calls me constantly and he's everywhere. He's on my Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. So
wonderful.
he's getting it out there. Yet I
It's
still don't know
amazing.
how many I've sold.
It's
I'll find out this week, next week, I think. Yeah. But it's at the top of Amazon. It's been 2 months now. It's been right at the top 5% of Amazon.
that's great. What an accomplishment. Good for you.
I know. I take a picture of the graft every week and say, "Oh my God, it's still there."
Oh, I love hearing that. I really do. I mean, that type of success deserves to be celebrated, especially in a place like Amazon, where you're literally going through all of the Chat GPT written books that are taking up all that space, weighing
I
everything
know.
down. Good for you.
I did though. I think I made a mistake. The one mistake I made, I think, with the second book is that I love a hardcover. I love hardcover, and so I had it published in paperback,
Uh,
hardcover, Kindle, audio, everything. But I don't think I've sold any hardcovers. They've been all paperbacks and Kindle and audio.
right. When you give everybody the cheaper options, then they tend to take the cheaper options
I
too.
know, and
So yeah,
eventually I'm sure the hardcover will come down. I mean, I think I have 20 of them in my closet that I keep giving out to people
right.
because,
Those are your signed copies, right? That you're gonna
yeah,
send it that way. I like it. I like it. It's
so I
funny.
don't think I'll waste my money on that next time around.
No, a lot of people don't even put it out in hardcover anymore. So I appreciate the fact that you do. I like hardcovers as well. I really appreciate them. When you can get one, but it's not always that
I
easy.
do. I do. I
So
do.
yeah, I hear you. When you and I were joking a little bit about one of the other episodes and how people kind of think when they go into writing a book, and what they're
Mhm.
expecting and so on. Some people go in thinking they're going to get rich, and so on. When you started the process of writing your book, your first one, okay, and you were like, "Hey, it started to really dawn on you. I'm going to publish this. This is really going to be a book. Here we go." We all have an expectation of how it's going to look, what's going to happen, where we're going to end up, what we're going to achieve. How did that image differ from how it really is now that
Oh,
you've published too?
100%.
And what
100%.
was the biggest surprise to you out of all of those things that differ?
That I wasn't going to sell 15,000 books right off the bat, you know? And oddly enough, even in thinking that I'm going to sell thousands of books, I wasn't thinking of the money. I was just thinking of getting the story out there. I wanted that story to be read. And that was more important to me than the money. Um, but the person who's doing my marketing now said that the only people who really, in order to really make money and get yourself known in publishing, is if you sell about 15,000 books. He said, the Stephen Kings, Robert Patterson, it's James Patterson. It's, yeah, it doesn't happen that way.
Right.
And I think that was my rude awakening that oh, I sold 5 books this week. Wow, that's great.
There you go.
But
There you
but
go.
little by little, like 10 years from now, the book could be a bestseller. I may not be around to see it, but
Oh, stop.
I know. Well,
Stop. I thought it was 120 or 130 years old.
123
I
doesn't
mean,
mean it
come
went
on.
in my mind, but no, I think I'm taking Prevagen.
You're going to be here.
I
You're
gotta
going to
stay sharp.
you're going to have written 4 or 5 more books between now and
I'm
then, I'm sure.
hoping to. I
I
mean,
mean,
I want to
seriously.
keep going because this has been a huge part of my life now. And Um, I mean, I've done some book signings, I've done podcasts, obviously,
You know,
and book. I've done I don't know how many book clubs, and it's been so much fun. It's really been great. I mean, I became an interior designer in 1984.
mhm.
I still have an interior design firm, although I retired from that. However, a couple
However, I was
some
waiting for the however.
some of the people have been with me since day one, and it's more like fun than work. But I'm just finishing up two jobs as we speak, and it's taking up too much of my time. So this is my swan song as far as that profession goes. I am definitely retiring from that in by the first of the year and just concentrating myself completely on writing. And hopefully I will have a fourth and fifth book in the works. But I like fiction. I really do like fiction.
That's neat.
It
I love
keeps
that.
my mind going. It keeps me thinking.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
be super creative to be able to write fiction. And I mean, it's a gift to be able to write fiction, I think. A lot of people think they can do it, and then they try. And wow, it's just not as easy as people think it is.
And then sometimes there are people who think they can't write and then find out much later than they really can.
Hmm,
They think that, oh, I
true.
can't, I'll never be able to do this. Never, never, never. Um, when I'm in my class, the writing class I'm in, we get prompts, and you've got like 5 minutes to write 500 words on a prompt. And she says, just write, just write. And it's so strange. It's interesting how it happens. You're just given a prompt and you start writing, and all of a sudden the story forms. And you don't really know where it came from. And it's about a subject that you probably know nothing about, but you're just winging it. But I just tell people if you want to write, just sit down and do it. It doesn't have to be great, but just do it. You may be unloading a lot of yourself onto a page and you don't even know it. It's very cathartic.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And clearly you've listened to my episodes because you're ahead of me. I always ask for some advice at the end of the show, and you're like, "Here's my advice. I'm
Oh,
ready.
I'm
I know
sorry.
it's
I'm
coming. Not
sorry.
at
Well,
all.
not.
Don't be. I love it. I mean, hey, if I know it was going to be this easy to interview, I would have brought a sandwich. You know, this is you're a wonderful storyteller, and I can see why you're a successful author. So,
Oh, I'm so happy to meet you. Like I was not kidding when I said I was really looking forward to this meeting
thank you so much.
because I loved everything that you had said in your opening to beginning this particular podcast.
Hmm.
I mean, where do you find the time to do all your different podcasts?
It's I love it as much as you love writing, and I'm very blessed to be able to do it full time. So
Well,
yeah, it's worked out after all these
it was
years.
it was definitely meant to be. It was meant to be. I think
Thank
if
you.
you have a passion for anything, it's never work, right?
Yeah, for sure. I love that that's the message that you put out there to folks too. That it's never too late. You're never too old. It's never not time. I mean, you're living proof that you can start something later on in life and be a huge success at it. I mean,
You're
it
never too
really
old.
is. It's wonderful.
No, I really I think it keeps you young.
So,
I mean, I could never do nothing. I could never just do nothing anyway. But this is I'm so in love with doing it right now. It's just given me such a burst of life.
yeah,
I
yeah.
might be very annoying to some people as I get older. I don't know. I still have friends from elementary school, and honest to God, I grew up in the Boston area, and we had a community center. We were the cheerleaders, we were the A group, we were everything in this. And on weekends, we would all be at a beach, Nantasket Beach in Hull, Massachusetts. And we would all sit at Converma Street. Okay. Here it is, zillions of years later, and we all come in over the summer and we meet at Converma Street. And some of the same people just go there every weekend that live locally. They're still meeting at Converma Street in Hull. The bikinis are gone, but we've all stayed in touch and we all get together. Some have moved to Florida, some to California, but we all stay in touch. Of course, via the internet as well. But I think that the funny thing is, growing up where I grew up, you either became extremely successful or you became a criminal.
Oh, wow.
Really, really. It was, we were all poor, but none of us knew it because we were all poor. So none of us thought of ourselves as poor. But in the end, some of them ended up in jail, criminals, drug dealers, or they became very successful because they were determined to get out of it, out of this neighborhood. And fortunately, I went in the right direction, not the wrong direction.
Good for you.
And all my friends did as well. And they're still at the beach.
I love that. Another great story. See, that's what
Well,
I'm
that
talking
might
about.
be my next book, Still at the Beach.
There you go. There you go. An autobiography, right?
That would be an autobiography.
I love it. I love it. Before we wrap things up, tell everybody how they can find you, how they can reach you. What's the best way to reach out to Shirley and find her books?
Best way if you Google Shirley B. Novack, Novack, everything will come up in Google. But I am on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, although I say that like with X. Um, you can find me on Amazon, booklocker.com. I guess anywhere the books are sold, if you put in the title of the book and my name.
Okay.
And I am open to having people reach me on email
Okay.
because I've met a lot of budding authors that have gotten in touch with me that way. And that's Sobino, S as in Sam, O B as in boy, O N as in no, O E, Sobino at AOL.com. My kids joke with me. They say, that's how everybody knows how old you are, Mom, because you have
You
AOL.
got the AOL still. That's that's right. It's time to upgrade to a Gmail. But other than
I
that,
have that too. No, I
I'm
have
with you.
Gmail. I have iPage. But this one's the easiest and the one I check every day.
I got you.
So, and I am getting a lot of emails from budding authors or people that have read my book and want to know if they can give me a review. And like out of
Nice.
the clear blue sky, they just find me.
That's wonderful. That means you're meant to be found.
I'm meant to be found. I
Yeah,
love people. I
that's
think
right.
that's part of it too. You can throw me into a room full of strangers and I'd be so happy because I love to learn what people are about
Nice.
and just hear what's going on in their lives. And I love meeting new people.
Well, it's been great meeting you. And
Thank you. The same here, Rory.
let me give you one last shot to give a shout out in any way that you would like. You've given a lot of very good advice. You've talked about your journey a lot, so I know people have learned from what you've gone through. Um, what's your best piece of advice you have left in the tank that you want to share with anybody out there who is an author, who is simply not as far along the author journey as you are?
There are three words in the English language that are forbidden in my household, and that's should have, could have, and would have. Because regret gets you nowhere. So you can't go back. You can't look back and say, I should have done that and I didn't do it. Just do it. Just go and do it. If you want to write, write. If you want to ride a horse, do what you want to do because you can't go back. You can only go forward. And no regrets. That's a harmful word. Those are harmful words. That's my best bit of advice to everybody.
Nice. Nice, very strong and very encouraging words to end with. And I appreciate that very much.
My
Uh,
pleasure.
the author of The Story of dot dot dot
Mhm.
and Stolen Lives, and the author of the upcoming sequel to Stolen Lives,
Which doesn't
Shirley,
have a title.
which does not have a title yet, Shirley Novack. Shirley, thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing everything about your life and your books, and for just sharing your knowledge and your encouragement with everybody who's going to listen. It's been amazing getting to know you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Rory, for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Folks, that has been another episode of the Right Path podcast, where the truth still counts and the keyboard calls us home. This is the place where authors know that every page is a step forward. So let's lift each other up. Let's dust ourselves off and let's all move forward together and find the right path.